anything is possible. No, well, not anything, but anything that you can, dream of. Anyways, I miss.
Hey, welcome back.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, it's been a minute since we made a video. Few weeks. Life has been busy. But we've been talking about different things that we want to share with you guys. And we would love to just kind of share some stories about things that we have been through. If you've watched our channel at all, we have been together for a while now. How many years?
18 years.
18 years. And we've actually lived in multiple countries together. We've been in different businesses. We have 3 kids. So today we wanted to share more about our move from the country of Canada. What's up, Canadians? If you're Canadian, let us know in the chat, in the comments below. And why we moved from Canada down to the US, which was something that we did. We're just doing the math. 9
years ago, yeah.
9 years ago. Okay.
It's been a while since we've been in the US. Yeah.
So neither one of us were actually born in Canada. How did you end up in Canada?
I ended up in Canada from Sri Lanka. So my parents immigrated to Canada, to Toronto.
When was this?
In 1990.
1990.
Long time ago.
So you lived there for how long?
25 years.
So 25 years in Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto, the
T-dots.
T-dots.
The 6.
And so Sanj was living in Toronto when we met, and I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho. So I'm American. Funny enough, we met in Mexico, so add another country in there.
Right.
And when we met, I actually thought Toronto was an American city.
Wow.
I had heard of the Toronto Blue Jays before, and I thought that was a Canadian American city.
This is common though in the United States. Most people aren't geographically, what is the word?
Like knowledge.
Well informed. In America.
Yeah.
This is political, but this is true, man. I mean, in the U.S. schools, they don't really teach, history of other countries outside of United States.
Yeah.
They don't really go into any type of geography or history study. So truth be told, most Americans don't have the awareness of things outside their country, even where other countries are, the customs.
Yeah.
And
this is true.
Yeah. And those that travel, those people have an advantage of really having a broad awareness.
I moved up to Toronto in the end of 2005. And then we lived there together for 10 years. So if you know Toronto, we lived in Scarborough. I'm wearing the Toronto Raptors. This is Sanj's hoodie, but
what's up, Raptors?
Repping the Raptors. But that was really fun. Like, what were some of your favorite parts of living in Toronto?
Oh man, Toronto is a nice city. I love the summers in Toronto. It's amazing. There's like so much going on, so much culture.
Yeah.
So much festivities, a lot of outdoor stuff, from Ribfest to Woofstock to, festivals at Center Island to Caribana. I mean,
CNE.
Toronto is a place to be in the summer.
Yeah.
I loved it there. There were so many things to do, and I really enjoyed my summers in Toronto.
Yeah.
For the 25 years I lived there.
I remember I grew up in Boise, which is a pretty small town, a couple 100,000 people. So moving to Toronto, where it's really multicultural, really diverse, millions and millions of people. And I actually went to school when I first went right downtown. It was like such a culture shock.
Bay Street.
But it was...
So it was Bay and Yonge?
Bay and Dundas. Bay and Dundas.
Yes.
Yes. It was so fun though. Like we had a blast. It was a really, really fun decade of our lives together. But then there definitely came a time when we moved. We decided to move, not just out of Toronto, but out of Canada, and to relocate down to the US. And I would say there was definitely many years when we never thought we would do something like that.
Right.
And it was after we had our first child, Amber, that we really started to have that idea in our minds.
After we became a family, yeah.
Yeah, because what happened too was I think we really were starting to feel the winters, and we really were starting to feel like being locked up inside, because I don't really like the cold. Like I really always wanted to move somewhere warm. I just fell in love with a man who lived up in Canada.
Okay, guys.
And he's from Sri Lanka. Like he's not built for it.
The real reason why we moved out of Toronto and Canada is because of the weather, because of the winters.
Yeah.
Neither one of us, we were in a big fan of the cold weather.
We're not like
We hate, how did I describe Toronto when you asked me about Toronto? I described the summers, right? How beautiful it is and awesome it is.
In fact, when I first came to visit you, you're like, I'm flying you, and you brought me in August, and
Yes.
it was amazing.
The summers are amazing, and it was almost like the 25 years I lived there, I was just living for the summer. You know, sunny skies,
Sound familiar, Canadians?
you know, things like that. But the winter was just like gloomy, gray,
Yeah.
cold, and I just never got used to it, and it was just too long. You know, it was like
Yeah.
6 months out of the year. Wait, 7, 8 months out of the year.
almost, yeah.
9 months out of the year. It's gloomy most of the time, cold.
Yeah.
I just, you know, my energy. I found that my body's energy was like just flatline when it was like gray skies. You know, I was kind of
Totally.
depressed. I was kind of I don't know if anybody can relate. If you relate to this feeling, you know, comment, let me know how you're feeling. But for me, when I was living there in the winters, as the older I got, in my 20s I didn't mind so much, but I think that later into my 30s, you know,
Getting a little crickety.
I started feeling like kind of this depressed feeling in the winter.
Yeah,
It's
you get like freaking depressed.
and no energy, and like I get charged up by the sun, right?
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I loved living in San Diego for the 6 years. It was sunny a lot there, and I would just feel like charged up, like full of energy. My body was like vibrating at a higher frequency
Yep.
when there was sun, and I was able to absorb sun. And this is scientific too, right? When you're able to get sun, you know,
We talked about that.
there's so many benefits that happens.
Totally. And I know there's other places in Canada, like if you're in the West Coast in Vancouver, you might have sunshine during the winters. We were in Eastern Canada by the Great Lakes.
Yes.
And it was a ton of snow, a ton of ice. What was really hard for me to cope with was the wind, because I came from Boise where we had winters, but we were in a valley, so we didn't really have a lot of wind. The wind is intense in Toronto. It's just like Chicago wind. So those of you that have maybe been to
It can
Chicago,
get intense, yeah.
it's a lot. So we decided to move for better weather, and some people might not think that that's a good enough reason. But it was for us.
For us, it was. We're all about lifestyle. You know, we wanted a quality of lifestyle. And I knew that moving to an environment where it was, the climate was much better and warmer, I knew we would have more of a lifestyle, better lifestyle. This,
Yeah.
you know, these are facts, right? I mean, it's true for anyone. You're just able to do more things. There's more options, choices. Your body just feels nice in the temperature. So right now we live in Florida, and I love it here year round. The climate is so amazing, and I think my body likes it to have less aches, pains, and joint aches, you know. And yeah, that's the biggest reason we moved. You know, other than that, people may have like political reasons and a lot of other reasons for moving out of Canada, why we moved, this and that, especially during COVID and after COVID, people just left.
Yep.
But the weather for us personally, it was a strong enough reason for us to have a desire to move somewhere with better climate, you know.
Exactly.
Because I just didn't want to live the rest of my life there for those 3 months where I felt like I was alive and having fun and doing stuff.
And I just want to add that the move didn't come right away for us. Like, it's not like we made the decision and then we just moved the next month. We actually made the decision, but our circumstances, like the business that we were in and all the logistics of moving, were still up in the air. And so you can see a vision board back here. This is in our room. We've been making vision boards for years. And so when we had this idea and we were like becoming obsessed with the idea of living by the ocean, living somewhere warm, somewhere we could take our kids to the ocean all the time and they could grow up, you know, with sandy toes and salty hair. We would get like calendars with like California and Florida homes, and then we would cut them out and we put pictures of the houses in these different places on our ceiling above our bed. So when we go to sleep at night and we'd wake up in the morning, we would see these pictures. We were like visualizing what we wanted. We had to work out the logistics of, getting rid of our home, changing businesses, all those things. And then eventually it came to fruition.
Yeah.
And it didn't come without a lot of resistance from people around us
and
as well.
Challenges and obstacles. It is a process if you want to make that type of a big move. It is a process. First, you have to have the desire to want to do that. And like I said, it could be any reasons. It could be multiple reasons. But for us, it was the weather. We wanted better climate to raise our kids and to live in, right? So the reason has to be compelling, and it's a process. You have to be patient and move towards making that move for yourself. It's been worth it for us, for sure.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it every day. I'm able to wake up to good climate. I'm feeling grateful, and I would do it all over and over again, even though it wasn't easy. There was a lot of challenges that we had to face, but I would do it over and over again because for us, it's been worth it. And I think we've had a much better quality of life, all through the year, living 9 years now in the United States.
Yeah.
And the 9 years we lived in, there are places in the United States too that are cold and have winters, right? But
Definitely.
we were able to pick a city, we had the resources and opportunity to pick any city we can go to, and we picked San Diego first. We tried San Diego for 6 years. It's a beautiful place.
We had there. 2 babies in San Diego.
Yeah.
We love San Diego. It's beautiful.
And then we decided to make a move to Florida to see how it's like living in Florida, and we love it so far. And but yeah, that's it's a process. If you're thinking of making that move, maybe you have a desire to live somewhere warm, live somewhere different. You may have that desire. If you need any help or any guidance, you can definitely comment or hit us up. We can definitely kind of guide you on what it takes and the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're curious. Have you ever thought of moving to another country, to another state, another province? Thank you guys for watching our video, kind of telling you guys a little bit about our time in Canada and why we decided to move down to the US. Share with you guys on a different video coming up why we decided to move from one side of the US to the other side, from one beachy coast, the west coast of California, to Florida. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, show us some support and love, and comment any other videos that you want to see us make.
Bye.
Bye.